Welcome to Envisioning Success, the weekly podcast that's your prescription for business clarity. In today's episode, we're talking about identifying new markets and frontiers. We're exploring strategies to discover untapped opportunities, reach new horizons, and set the stage for business growth. Whether you're looking to retire comfortably or enhance your company's value, this episode is packed with incredible insights and advice.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're excited to talk with you today. We understand as a business owner that you're always looking for ways to grow your company, and we're here to help you do that. My name is Laura DiBendetto. I am the CEO of Vision Advertising, and I have the fabulous and talented Julia Becker Collins. She is my business partner and COO and master of all things. So today we're going to be talking about some really meaty, juicy stuff, and I'm really excited to help you grow your company, really excited to help you think about the ways that you can increase the value of your stock, make your life better, make your company better, and be happy while you do it. So this show is sponsored by Vision Advertising. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary. It is a pleasure to have you here. Before we get going, since this is our maiden voyage, let me take 60 seconds or less, because nobody wants to hear me yap too long, and tell you briefly about me. Julia will do the same, and then we're going to dive in. So, as I said, my name is Laura DiBendetto. I've been doing this marketing thing for an embarrassingly long period of time, 25 years, and I'm in my 40s. So I started this very young. I was 19 when I got this company going. I was one of the first people to lead the social media movement in businesses in Central Massachusetts. I've won a ton of awards in business. I'm also a TEDx speaker, and I'm a published author. This is one of 3 companies that I own. So I've been kind of doing this entrepreneurship thing for a bit. So I'm obsessed with marketing, and as hard as I try to leave marketing, marketing doesn't leave me. I have a problem, but I'm here to share it with you. So love what I do. I live in Florida, used to live in Massachusetts, and just love this whole marketing thing. And I'm ready to share all kinds of really neat stuff. Julia, please say hello and tell everybody about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. As Laura said, I am Julia Becker Collins. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Vision Advertising and Laura's business partner. I have been in marketing, it's pushing 20 years now. And I am also in my 40s. So it's an embarrassingly long amount of time. I have been with Vision for 7 years, which is crazy. I know. And prior to that, I worked at other agencies and also worked in the nonprofit space doing marketing, brand development, major gift fundraising, and budgeting and general operations to help kind of turn the ship and stabilize finances for nonprofits. I am also not from Massachusetts originally, but I do live here now. So kind of the opposite of Laura. Prior to living in Massachusetts, I lived in the Bay Area in California, and I grew up outside Manhattan. I live in the Boston area with my husband, my dog, and my cat. And I'm also a long distance runner.
Neat. Good for you, man. I also exercise, but not quite to the level that Julia does. We will definitely be exploring those fun subjects and how I feel like a potato compared to Julia as our episodes progress. Julia and I have been doing business together for 7 years. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of great moments. We've had a lot of bash the head against the desk moments, and we're going to share a lot of those with you very transparently. We're probably not going to name names because we want to be really honest about what happened. And we want to make sure that we can share these stories with you transparently so you can learn and grow with us. We've seen clients succeed and soar to great heights. We've helped some companies go public. We've done some really incredible stuff. We've also watched people crash and burn, and we're going to help you avoid that. So, oh God, where do we begin today? We're going to talk about identifying new markets and frontiers. And let me just kind of couch this for you. So we're thinking about, you've been in business for a while. I've been in business for that embarrassingly long period of time. But then again, if you're listening to this show, you probably have too. So this is a good subject. So when you think about growing your company, when you think about, I might like to retire one day and maybe my exit exit plan should not be a casket. That's actually one of our clients' exit plans, and we're working on that right now. Like, buddy, no, nobody's signing like estate documents at the funeral home. No. We're helping people to figure things out. And vision advertising has been doing so much more than advertising for a long time. We're in the middle of our own rebrand and thinking about new markets and frontiers. We help our clients do that. We're going to help you do that. But the first question I want to throw out for both of us to just kind of tease out right now is, why do you even want to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I always want to hear from our clients about, or from people I'm just talking to, what's your goal? Like you said, long term, like how are you going to exit the company? Are you going to identify new markets and frontiers to help expand your company? What's your long-term goal in general? And part of identifying new markets and frontiers is deciding, like Laura said, how do I decide to leave and how do I bring the value of the company up before I decide to leave? So Laura, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your experience?
Sure. So I've had, experience personally. I've had experience with the clients of Vision Advertising, but I've also had these experiences as a consultant in helping people to think about basically their exit strategy, which generally precipitates this conversation. So people are like, oh, well, I'd like to exit at some point. I'd like to sell my company at some point, which may or may not be the right decision. We're going to get more into that 2 weeks from now. But the conversations always start from a place of, I can't do this forever. It's just a real honest place because, hey, shocking, we're all getting older. Some of us feel like senior citizens currently. Some of us are senior citizens currently. And when you think about how long you can do something and what you want to do with the rest of your life, you start to think of quality of life and spending time with your children, spending time with your grandchildren and stuff like that. And when you're thinking about, okay, well, I want to exit, the next logical thing is, well, I want to get the most money.
Yep.
How do you do that? Sometimes you have to take a good, honest look at where you are in your business right now. And are your offerings a little dusty? Are your sales flat? Do they need to be enlivened before you say adios? Do we need to add new stuff so you're more contemporary, so it's more saleable? So those are a lot of the reasons why you would want to think about this. I mean, I've been having this conversation with these two gentlemen lately who they're approaching 70 and they haven't had an exit strategy. And there hasn't been a lot of belief around exiting in any other way than a casket. I mean, I said it in a joking way, but this is serious for them. And yeah, so that's kind of no bueno. And now in their case, they're not going to be adding services, but they can certainly go after new markets because that allows them to go after bringing on a salesperson and creating a continuity plan. So that's been an interesting conversation. We're at the beginnings of it, but it's going really well. And it's really about broadening a lot of the horizons of like, hey, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, I can do that. Yeah. Like the whiteboard still has a lot of room on it is the point. And not just for them.
And do you find that that happens often with business owners, that they kind of get stuck in what they're used to doing rather than thinking outside the box a little bit?
Oh, for sure. A lot of the reason why is because, it starts when we're kids. What do you want to be when you grow up is usually a question that invites a singular response, not, and you laugh at the little kids that are like, well, I want to be a tap dancer and I want to be an astronaut and I want to be a fireman and I want to do this and I want to do that. And it's like, actually that kid's right. And we're not, because we have created this singular career path for a lot of people. And you even notice people like Julia, you were on the nonprofit path until you decided you'd like to earn money. And then
I really wanted to pay my mortgage. Let's be clear.
Why? You don't
I
want to live
know.
in a box?
It's crazy. Who doesn't want to work 80 hours a week and make $29,000 a year?
What's wrong with you?
Right, exactly.
Well, it's you are on a career path, and a lot of people will stay in that path, but they won't deviate a hell of a lot. They'll just change jobs and employers, but they'll kind of do one thing. Entrepreneurs, we all think we're different, but we're kind of not. We'll be like, hey, I'm going to do this one thing, largely from a place of A, society doesn't encourage us to think broadly. Two, or no, A and two. Nope. A and
A,
B. We're going to
B.
go
There
with
you go.
B. B, we don't often think or have faith in ourselves that our skills are transferable to new things. And C, see with my continuity there? See
Good
what I
job.
did there? We often are reluctant to be beginners again.
Right. I would agree with that. People get comfortable with what they're comfortable with, and they want to kind of stay in that, using the same word again, comfort zone.
Yeah.
I know. See what I did there?
Sure did.
So when you're thinking about identifying new markets and frontiers or frontiers, how do you vet opportunities?
That's an awesome question. So vetting the opportunities is, I think it's essential. I mean, you can't just like take a thing. I mean, just like using vision advertising is a great example. I mean, hi, we're right here. Let's pick on us. There's so many marketing disciplines that we could add to vision advertising at any time. Like we could become funnel experts. We're not. We know enough about it. We partner with people and we can help people with email marketing, which we do. But do we want to do a deep dive? No. And we could be podcasting experts. We're not. No. And how do we make those decisions? Well, a lot of it is
Right.
going to be around profound self-awareness. And in the case of self, it's actually who we are as a company. Who are we? Who are we not? What can our staff actually reasonably do? What do they want to do? And will we cause a mass exodus if we start adding stuff that isn't really a good fit organically? Can we cross-sell it to our customer base? Do our customers actually want this? Will it serve them? So there's a lot of things that you need to do. But number one, you need profound self-awareness of actually who you are and who you're not at a company level, who your people are and who your people are not, who your customers are and who your customers are not. So if it can pass those three tests, then it should be something that you could consider. And then, of course, the fourth one, I think this one's obvious from any business perspective, but I do tend to skip the obvious. So Julia, feel free to pick on me in all the episodes.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, I know. Squeeze. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you going to be able to charge enough for it? So we don't go down certain rabbit holes as a company, even if it can check the first three boxes, because maybe we just can't charge enough for it. So like, do we like make a killing at logo design? No, we offer it, but it's not something we want to be known for because we're not going to make a killing at it. Also, I can't attach a recurring revenue stream to it. So it's a little less sexy to me. So when somebody's like, hey, we want to rebrand. All right, we get it done and we do a beautiful job, but it's not something I'm out there like, oh yeah, we do this. You should know us for this. No.
I would also say like that if we're going to add a fifth item to look at, look at that, right? I would add, what's the longevity of the product or service in the marketplace? So an example being, if we decided we were interested in direct mail marketing, right? Hard copy, mailing out letters, et cetera. What's the longevity in that? Is it more of a short term versus a long term, when is it really going to be a useful marketing tool in 10 years? Trying to think through the technology aspect, like Laura said, the juice worth the squeeze, how much we could charge versus what we'd, our incurring costs. And also, is it even going to be relevant?
Right.
If you asked me, do I think direct mail marketing is going to be a huge moneymaker in 10 to 15 years? I'm going to say no. Also, I'm not willing to take that bargain or that deal on it. So.
Also, I recently scarred you for life by giving you the humdinger of all direct marketing projects to where your point where you probably need therapy.
Listen, just because I have PTSD about direct mail marketing doesn't mean that's what I'm bringing up in this podcast. Yes, it does.
Sorry, man. Send the therapy bill to Vision Advertising and we will take care of it for you.
No problem.
Sorry,
Happy
man.
to do that.
No, that's a really good point. I mean, I'm even thinking like, as of today, we're in September 2023 when we're recording this, and it's like AI is on the precipice of starting to be like ingrained in a more obvious way into like daily life. And, as a company, we were like, do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this? Do we want to use these tools? Do we not want to use these tools? And it's not so much like that's not a new market, but it's kind of a new frontier. Do we want to use this technology? And as a company, we decided, well, we actually do think that this is going to have market longevity and it's not going to do our jobs for us, but it can help us do research and this and that. And we're going to at least know enough about it to make sure we don't get left in the dust. And there are times where it's appropriate, like it's great at research and great at like some things, not everything. God, you should see some of the suggestions it comes up with. It's so bad. Yep. But like, that's a really good example of it. And yeah, I mean, direct mail, it's going the way of bell bottoms. Bye.
Except that bell bottoms are coming back into fashion. It's horrifying.
I got too much booty for that.
I mean,
no.
Yeah, same.
I feel like you need to have the shape of like a stick if you're going to wear those things.
Hard pass.
Whatever. It's just a segue. Anyway.
But yes, agreed. There are many different areas we could be diving into with marketing. We could be adding all kinds of services and technology, but like Laura said, it's, is it a good investment for every different prong that we discussed? And oftentimes it helps to kind of step outside that comfort box to see what else could we be doing.
Right. We did that with podcasts, remember? And I actually, I remember that process as a really, really good example. And let's wrap this episode up with just this example, and then we can all meet again next week. But when we were doing the podcast service for people, what we were doing, and we're still capable of doing it, but again, it's like the logo design. We can do it, but we don't really advertise it. We're known for other stuff. We took it on as a beta project. And when we took it on as the beta project, it was, is this something our customers want? Yeah, some of them do. Is it something our staff can do? We don't know. So let's try it. Is this needed in the marketplace? Can it make money? But also, is this something that we'll be needing on an ongoing basis? And it checked enough boxes where we were willing to try it. And you can do that as well with your company. You can just try stuff, add it, see if your team likes it, see if you don't like it. You don't always, unless you're having to invest like millions of dollars into equipment to try something. Sometimes with services, it's much easier. Or you can beta things or like try to partner with another company. Like there's print on demand merch companies. You can try before you buy. And what we learned with that is, yes, people need it. Yes, people want it. Yes, people can make money on it, but people are not willing to pay for what it takes to actually get the kind of incredible results that they want. So there's a very low perceived value. So for our high ticket clients who work with us, who have a massive personal brand, those are the clients who are further in between, but these are the clients who are willing to make the investment. So when we take on a client who is like a published author, like I am, or someone like that, who's quite successful already, then we can talk about that in an individual capacity. And then we can kind of quietly include it where it makes sense versus adding it to like, quote unquote, the lineup,
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
Cool. So this was a very interesting first episode. I think it was pretty good. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to be getting into building strategic partnerships and collaborations. We're going to be exploring why would you do that? How do you leverage them? And who do you do it with? Julia, thank you for being the co-hostess with the mostess and my business partner and my business bestie. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.